Atheists usually they say there is no evidence for existence of God, but what do they really mean by evidence they say something like there is no evidence for existence of God? So how can we prove that God exists to them? First of all, we don't need to prove to any atheist that God exists because I feel that atheists themselves does not want to believe in God in first place. It is not that they have not encountered any evidence for existence of God. It is that they have an emotional reason for not accepting God. Maybe because of the behavior of the religious people out there. Maybe they have seen family and friends, and since they want to get rid of this concept of God, they are claiming that there is no evidence for existence of God. So it's like closing the eyes and believing that the world does not exist. Fine, just because you close your eyes, that doesn't mean that world does not exist. The world still exists even though you close your eyes. So whenever I encounter this, even in my comment section, that you have made a claim, you should prove it. Why should we prove it to you? Is the first question, that why should we prove it to you? You don't believe in God, don't believe in God. Why should a theist go around convincing you to believe in God in the first place? Why should any theist go do that in the first place? Secondly, I can understand that many atheists they claim to be rational because there are many dogmatic religious people, and unfortunately, uh, religious communities have been dominant in having dogmatic people all around the world. But this doesn't mean that the religion is something which is irrational, or religion is something which is dogmatic in nature. Rather, if you study religion, any religion, I'm not specifically talking about Islam, you will find many intellectual arguments in the favor of that religion. And if you go deep down in any religion, you will find that only a certain portion of that religion actually makes sense, because only a certain portion of that religion is actually word of God. And sometimes that word of God, that religion may not be from the God. That religion may be man-made. And even those religion who are man-made, or those who are mystical in nature, for example, you have Buddhism, Jainism, they do not claim to believe in God. There are other Chinese religion who do not believe, who do not claim to be believe in God, but they are called as religion. Why? Because they may have some wisdom in them. And so religion in and itself is not something which is anti-science or anti-religion. It is the religious people who interpret the religion. For example, we have always heard a statement, a cliche from the Muslims, that Islam give rights to the woman. Actually, this is technically not correct. First of all, I agree that women are respected in Islam, or women are respected by God. But saying that Islam give rights to the woman is something which is not technically correct. So, what is the technically correct statement? The technically correct statement is that Islam commands men to give rights to the woman, because at the end of the day, men are running this world. You cannot deny this fact, that it is a practical society all around the world, and it has been, most of the time it has been like this. And this is not something, an evidence for patriarchy. Rather, this is something uh, which is a dominant view. So anything which is dominant does not make it right. We see, if a Muslim claims that patriarchy is true because everyone was patriarchal and it has survived since ages, the only answer I can give to them, that even polytheism has survived since ages. But Quran condemns polytheism. Quran condemns shirk. even though it is the dominant position of every religion out there. There are more polytheistic religion than monotheistic one. People believes in people most often cling are born in a polytheistic religion than in monotheistic religion. So if that is the proof for patriarchy, then even polytheism is the proof of being it natural. But that's not true. Anything which is dominant or anything which is popular does not make it true. So, what the atheist or the ex Muslim have got wrong about religion is that they are blaming the religion itself rather than believing the religious people. And just a few minutes back, I have seen a video of Hari Sultan in which he was quoting Engineer Muhammad Ali Mirza that we do not need a loud loudspeaker for azan. And you know, these people, atheist and ex-Muslim, they have left Islam, but they know for sure that their own statement are not valid, because they have left Islam. Their own statement will not appeal to the Muslim because they have left Islam. The Muslims will still, the Muslim will still follow the likes of maybe Engineer Muhammad Ali Mirza, Allama Javed Ahmed Ghamdi Saab, or any speaker who is trying to reform the Muslims, not trying to reform Islam, not trying to reform the Sharia, rather trying to reform the understanding of Islam, or trying to reform, you can say, the jurisprudence of Islam, or trying to reform the classical fiqh. So anyone who is doing so, people will tend to follow these people more than they follow someone like atheist or an ex-Muslim, because it is a fact that people actually need a community to thrive. And ex-Muslims and atheists, even in their primitive state, have not made a community, and they would like to be associated with the communities of their elders and their forefathers. I mean, this is something which is very natural. So I know many ex-Muslims or Muslims who do not believe in Islam, yet they do not want to uh, announce their apostasy. The reason first can be that there will be a social backlash, and they do not want it to dissociate with the culture of the Muslim. For example, there's a well-known atheist, Javed Akhtar. He calls himself Muslim atheist. He identifies himself as a Muslim atheist, and he wants to be culturally identified as a Muslim. Maybe he is not he does not believe in religion. He does not believe in God. He's an atheist, but yet he still wants to culturally be, you can say that he wants to be aligned to the Muslims. Why is that? The reason is that we are people who want to live in communities. We cannot live individually, and that's the reason. See, recently we have apostate prophet accepting Christianity. So why people, with all of these uh, problems which exist in their interpretation of Islam, yet why do people still uh, join a religion? It can be any religion. They cannot live without religion. We can see throughout that they cannot live without religion for a very long time, because human beings by nature are built to live in communities, and it is very difficult to live individually. It is very difficult. You need to find people who maybe share a common practice or common belief with you. An atheist community, I don't think that they are so much united in this, and they give a sense of community to each other. Rather, you they are similar like every other community. And I have seen two atheists fighting with each other. I have seen two Christian speakers fighting with each other. I have seen, of course, Muslims fighting with each other. So just because people within a religion or within a community is fighting each other, that doesn't mean that the community itself is something which is not required anymore. Fine. So this is something, and the very basis of religion. If you ask me, what is the basis? Where is the basis and purpose of religion? Is to unite humanity, not to divide it. The problem is that there are two kinds of people. One, there's a people there are people who is using religion to unite people, like the earlier, if you see the earlier videos of Dr. Zakir Naik, the more focus was not to convert people, rather the focus was to educate people. The topics were Islam and Christianity, similarities between Islam and Christianity, then we have similarities between Hinduism and Islam, a concept of God in major religion. This was for educational purpose. This was a phenomenal video to unite Hindus and Muslims, to unite Muslims and Christians. But as soon as you turn it into a tool to divide Muslims and Christians by converting them to Islam, then it becomes a divisive tool. The same lectures or the same concepts are used to divide the humanity, and these non-Muslims used to respect Dr. Zakir Naik because he was actually uniting Hindus and Muslims, and this will be a very great achievement. I would say that in India, where there is such a divisive politics, where there is such a divisive politics, and because of this divisive politics, hate is bred, and because of hate, we see violence in the communities, we see riots, we see hatred towards each other, we see lynchings. It is a very good strategy to talk about commonalities between Islam and Hinduism or any other religion. It is uh, I would think that it is an achievement. It's a lifetime. It is a person should be given a Nobel Prize for peace, or a person should be given a lifetime achievement if they are successful in uniting the Muslims or the Christians, if they are successful in uniting the Hindus and the Muslim instead of converting him. See, converting them actually makes it a problematic. Islam is not for converting people. Don't make Islam into some kind of a network marketing scheme. No, Islam is not a sales pitch. I'm sorry to say, Islam is there to correct people. And I would like to quote the verse from Surah Baqarah, where Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says that humanity was a single community and they differed and disputed because of some people who wanted to commit oppression and who wanted to commit excesses against each other. And then Allah Subhanahu wa Taala sent prophets and messengers so that they will be united to solve the disputes. Then Allah Subhanahu wa Taala sent a book so that the disputes of the world be solved. So the purpose of the book, the purpose of religion is basically to unite humanity rather than dividing them. This is the purpose of religion, but unfortunately, the ex-Muslims did not, or the atheists actually do not understand this point, and I would not like to blame them. I would like to blame the religious people around us, the religious clergies and the ultra-religious people who are making Islam look bad. I have never seen that because of religious people, uh, people are appreciating the religion of someone. No, I have never seen this. Unfortunately, this is such an unfortunate that a religious clergy should be the best human possible, but we do not see this kind of similarity, that a religious people is also a very good human being. We see very less example of such thing, that a person is ultra religious and he is super kind, and no, we do not see this. In fact, we see that less a person religious, the more maybe he kind he is. So this is what we see in our society, and this is something which is very sad. This is something which needs to be talked about, that where is your humanity when you talk about religion? Where is your ethics when you talk about fiqh? Are you there only to exploit people? We have seen that people are using religion just to exploit people off. We have seen this in every religion possible. Why is this happening? This shouldn't happen in the first place, and that's the reason we have an ex-Muslim community, and this is the reason why we have people who leave Islam, and this is the reason we have atheists. because the religious community have failed the religion. We should ponder about these things. We should improve ourselves rather than improving this whole world around us.